and it turns out pretty well. And the more watery it is, just make sure it doesn't flow around like a wash, because then you could get yourself in trouble. All right, so now underneath the hat, where that lantern is, I'm going to start kind of just getting it in there and make it look like light is coming out of it. So again, you want to stick to where the light's going to be the strongest and stick to edges, because light's going to catch on edges, or at least that's what your eyeballs like to think. And I'll put some on the bedroll. The bedroll, you won't notice a whole lot of it because it is a fairly bright color. But you'll notice if you ever look at people that win Golden Demons and blah, 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 and they do stuff with OSL, they tend to make it so that the light sources are coming from like darker parts of the model, because it creates this like insane contrast that's really, really cool. And judges usually eat that up. And I say this as someone who doesn't win a lot of painting contests, so take it with a grain of salt. I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, that's true. Thankfully, funniest person that was formerly in the network is around to tell me these jokes. Because we don't let the bits die. And again, in this case, we actually have to wait for it to dry. When you're doing OSL, you don't want to be too aggressive too quick, because it will, it'll start the coffee stain. It does it every time. So if anybody has any questions, I'm willing to answer. I've heard that Dan, similar to Hank Hill, has no butt, which causes low back pain. Boo. How's your cigar, Tim?
Cuban.
Very Cuban. Cubany.
They like press it with a panini press halfway through, and there's sauerkraut and pastrami on it.
That's the weirdest Cuban I've ever. I was gonna say, it doesn't sound like a Cuban at all.
I can't read the menu. I don't actually know what's on it. I thought it was quinoa and sprouts or something.
Vietnam.
A toilet bowl, Dan.
What's Tim painting currently? He's in the bathroom doing finger painting, I think. It's weird that they put all the paints there. Something about eggs. Really loves his hard-boiled eggs, he said. Now, if I could get this thing to focus. So there you go. So that's underneath the hat. As you can notice, I'm starting to build up a little bit of like a light that's shooting out onto the back of the hat. Again, super dirty. This isn't like, I'm not putting this in a competition. You want to try and make that as smooth as possible. It's easiest to do with nice, like, watered down paint, because eventually it'll make it even. This is glazing. This is something that I would actually consider glazing. And I put a little bit on the bedroll, because again, it's just right there. It's very, very subtle, but you'll notice that, again, in this case, less is more. And the more subtle you are with it, the more that you'll kind of appreciate it. It's one of those things where you kind of hope people don't notice that you're like, they just look at the model and they're like, oh yeah, there's obviously a light source. Why wouldn't there just be color there? Because if you overdo it, then you're going to sell the model short in a lot of ways. Because then it's going to just not look good. So in this case, just kind of keep working at it, keep picking away. And just refine as you go. And again, if I was doing this for like a contest, I might go in there with like a little bit of the other color, clean up some of the OSL. But in this case, it's just kind of like, just get paint on the model. It doesn't really matter. Because it don't matter. None of this matters. As a great man once said to me. One of the saddest people I know bought me a Carl t-shirt. Something funny over there?
No, I found out there's boba in there. That's what I was choking on.
Yeah. You thought that was pulp?
Yeah, I don't know. I put all sorts of weird stuff in my drinks.
All right, so we're going to take a little bit of this bismuth. The bismuth. I'm going to give him the biz. Slip it on out there. This is a little bit more of a icy type yellow. Again, make it a little more on the watery side. Thankfully, Monument Hobby paints are some of the best, so they're already pretty well, pretty much airbrush ready, almost right out of the pot, which is incredible. So then you're gonna do the exact same thing. You're gonna take some paint and you're gonna start slapping it in the middle of the light source, and then you're gonna refine the light coming out of it, and you're just gonna make that spot real tiny, so that it doesn't. So it looks like there's a variety, I guess, a variation in the tone of the yellow, so that it looks like there is a active light source. And when you do this, you always want to make sure that it's closest to the model color, the heat source in this case, whatever the light source is. So whenever you shoot it out onto like a surface, make sure it's the part that is closest to the model itself. I have tried the Adepticon paints. I actually have them right here for the Adepticon spray team, which is one of the reasons why when you go to the event, they have terrain in the first place. They get a bunch of people together, and they all sit in a single bathtub, and they just start painting. It's weird. The bathtub part's weird, but
it honestly prevents messes and also spiders from leaving.
That's true. The paints that I've used are the satin black. I used that yesterday a little bit. Pretty good. I didn't have an opportunity to use as much as I wanted because I'm scared if I use it, it's just going to dry on the palette. I'm not going to be able to use a whole lot of it. And there's not a lot of black on this model, so I didn't get a full use out of it, but from the little bit I did use for his nose and the black parts of the skin. Yeah, okay, just ask that question. It's very good. I was a big fan of it. I have used the advanced flesh tone. The shadow, I think it's advanced shadow flesh tone. Good paint for Vader. Yes, I do. Now I painted a Vader. What you'll notice is that if you paint a Vader, you're gonna want that black to be pretty dark, so that the rest of the things you do are gonna really like highlight. I didn't paint your Vader. That's very true. I think some guy in Hawaii has it. Oh, he doesn't have it. Okay. I will say, Shatterpoint models. All right, that makes sense. Shatterpoint models are usually kind of hit or miss on me. Like some of them, I just straight up really enjoy painting, and then some of them just like, ugh. Like Luke was great because Luke was simple. He was wearing black, green lightsaber. It was like boom, 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 bam. Finished him in like one sitting. Vader was fun because again, it's like mostly black, and you get to like make variations in the different tones of the black and stuff. Like that's a lot of fun. That kind of stuff I really enjoy. Lots of just like monotonous detail work. I'm just like, I don't care. The Ross dress for less has great life. That's good.
And they don't charge a whole ton for it either.
Not on nice. Deadline. Oh gosh.
The satin black's the one I hear the most people talking about. Have you tried this bright shadow flesh yet?
Yes. That's the only other one I've used. That one's good. I've used that when I was painting. I think it was some Soviets, some bolt action Soviets, and I used it for the skin. It's pretty good. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I have my own skin recipe that I usually always use. Also, an article in PCN blogs if you're ever curious. If anybody would like to read those. Those I did a little while ago. I am planning on doing did I do Caucasian skin?
Yes.
I didn't do dark. I didn't do like African American skin or like Latino skin, which I will get to at some point. That Bill can. That's true.
It's a machine now that does it for me. I don't do any of my own work.
So I will get to those eventually. Work has been very strange. I haven't been have as much free time as I thought I would in my life right now, but I'll get to it. White is right now. I'm working on a NMM gold with the new Flame On paints. That's probably going to be the next one, and then after that, I'm probably going to do white because I've had a lot of people ask me how to paint white for stuff like Emma, stuff like that. And again, right now, we're just kind of refining. So one of the things that you want to make sure you do when you do OSL and all that, you want this to be like the last thing you do. Answer was shocking. Oh, God. It's always good to be caught in the middle of a war zone.
I think it can only be used from range 4 away.
War zone? Mm-hmm. What is that?
I think Punisher
That's
is...
Punisher, yeah.
Yeah, blowing...
That's War...
Blowy up stuff move.
Zone, yeah, that is War Zone. Because his comic was called War Journal. Okay. Oh, Cap. Not even a debate. Stark is scum. So there. Starting to look like a light source. Looks pretty good. And I did that in like 10 minutes, if that. It's great. So now, as the last part of it, I'm gonna add a little bit of white, just to make it so that the hot spot looks hot. Hot. Again, mix it in with that yellow, just to kind of keep it in line with the rest. Give it a little water, because otherwise it'll completely disappear in this room. Again, tap the very, very middle of the light source. This one you might not even use for OSL, unless you have like a really guided use for it. And if you are, you're only putting it on the tippy tips of where it's touching. But you definitely want this to be like the hottest spot of the light. So Paris Hilton would be like so hot right now. And again, when you're poking this in here, it does not have to be perfect. Because I'm not perfect. I'm a flawed human being.
You should enter the Worthy next year and try not to get disqualified.
That's a good idea. I wasn't disqualified last year, like I was the year before. I got mentioned by Dallas on the stream because I did the Elektra and Daredevil fighting hand ninjas one. If anybody did see that, that was me. I did not place, but admittedly, I had a lot going on. I painted a lot of stuff for Adepticon. Holy butts. I painted a lot. And then after that, this model's pretty much done. Except for the base, which I'll get to. Probably when I get home. I'll probably put them on just like a little grassy base because that's easy. But there you go. We did it. We painted a single model in the free time we had. Actually, you know what? There's one other thing I'd probably want to do. His eyeballs. Because you got chibi effect here, what you can do is you can put like an iris like light reflection in the eyeball. If the brush would. Kind of similar to a gem, actually. Like a window. There you go. Oh, okay. Well, I can't see the thing anymore. They're too busy doing the reason they came here. Playing some game called Nick.
It's actually Missip.
Mississippi. There you go. So I put some like white dots in the eyeballs. You can't see it. I promise it's there though. And there you go. That's essentially a finished model. If I wasn't forced to like work around the schedule for this show, this would have taken me like, oh god, well, like an hour or two, and boom, finished model.
Like total from start to finish?
Yeah, I'd say so. Probably safe
Okay.
to say about an hour or two. So like this would be great for like a D&D thing. So like you're playing with your kids or whatever.
Yeah.
You paint for this for your kid, you hand it to them, they'll be like,
Wow, Dad, I don't hate you anymore. I don't want to go see Weekend Dad, you know?
or something. And
You're cool. I really like you. And
You're almost as cool as Gary.
Gary's really cool. He gives me $100 bills and lets me shoot guns at the neighbors.
and so you want to be as cool as Gary. I mean,
Yeah.
we all do for
Yep.
sure. Gary owns a lot of guns,
He does.
and he likes to sit outside your house on that park bench looking at you. And that's fine. And then maybe if you were to paint him a little doggy Corgo model, you could give it to him, and maybe he would go pester somebody else.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would actually probably get him to refer to you by your name instead of the kid.
Yeah. And shaving his face with a Bowie knife every single time you're talking to him.
Yeah. No
That's-
shaving cream either, which
Yeah,
is
it's
kind of a real flex.
Wild. It's like the guy from The Predator, the black guy, who's like dry shaving with a
Yeah.
razor
Yeah.
in the middle of wherever they were. I think it was South America that movie takes place. Anyway, so there you go. That's a finished model. I'll probably post a picture of it in the PCN Discord when I finish it, so that everybody will be like, "Why did you paint that, you stupid idiot?" And I'll be like, "Wow, that wasn't nice." And then I'll tell them I'm sad, and then I'm gonna poop my pants.
All right, so guys, pairings are up for the finals here. This is a huge match,
Huge.
massive match, some might say. We have Danger. We have the Danger Room folks, Mike DeLuca, Lucas Sheik, Timeline champion, and
What is so funny?
I keep having, funny things said in my ear, and it makes me giggle and it makes
Oh.
me laugh. But we have Nathan's Angels right here from not Niles, Illinois, but probably somewhat close to it, with Alex Botts. With Alex Botts, Vincent Kirchhoff, and Pat going up against All Grip, All Rip, or Grip It and Rip It with Lucas Sheik, Sooner, and Mike DeLuca. This is an awesome match. This is going to be fantastic. I'm very excited for this. They're going to be choosing tables and stuff now. They're going over who's going to be playing what, where, and why. And this will decide the first winner. The squad goals here, once again, run by Alfredo's Size 3 Taco Truck. Also, make sure to check out the Vincent Kirchhoff on YouTube, just at Vincent Kirchhoff. I'm sure they will be doing a bunch of content about this. We're very excited for these. These are incredible players at the top of their game. They're all just actually super dope people. I was very fortunate to have met Lucas Sheik in person this past year at Adepticon. We kind of had an overwhelmingly positive experience, which is kind of the experience that Adepticon provides, just kind of nonchalantly. Mike DeLuca, obviously a regularly top contender at pretty much any event he shows up to. Sooner, we didn't get to see at Adepticon this year, so it's very excited to see him this year as well. I got to meet him at NashCon the first year I went, and it was an absolutely great time. Kirchhoff we see everywhere, constantly on the stream table, because he's a high performer. Alex Botts and Pat as well. I actually don't know if we've had Pat on stream before, but yeah, should be Dopers McGopers.
I will say, it's funny that he's high performing, because people have said I am high functioning all the time.
They do. That is kind of a tagline. Like, if you were in Star Wars Shatterpoint and you provided, benefits to other models, high functioning probably would be that tag.
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
Haven't tasted them yet, but I'm sure they hold up to the Monument standard, probably even exceed it.
I'm not sure if anybody listens to Arachne, but I usually make the joke. Don't eat Monument paints.
Why are they? They're not toxic, right?
I guess we could try it. If we die by the end of it, I guess
shot.
that's a good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Monument bomb.
Well, there we go. I think this is the first time we've had Pat on stream. It looks like we're going to have Sooner as well.
Do you have a knife? I'm just trying to prevent a catastrophe on the plane.
Yeah.
Hey, Tizzy, do you have a knife? Do you have a knife? I'll be right back.
All right, just had to get some tools. I'm out here for the stream table, but this should be pretty stellar. I mean, we've said it a whole bunch of times already, but it can't be understated. Kind of the level of play that's going to be happening between these two teams. Looks like Alex Box is going to be going up against Mike DeLuca at one of the other tables, and Kirchhoff against Lucas Sheik as well at table 3 for them. All right, we got a priority roll, looks like. Pat is going to have that, so that is going to be priority with Nathan's Angels. A huge shout out to both of these teams as well. I had put in the team names a little bit ahead of time, and they just happened to choose the sides that were most convenient for me. They are taking a look right now at their extracts and secures. It does look like we are going to be using Pat's extracts, Sooners and secures. All right, Researcher and Infinity. So I believe they're going to be deciding between, I think, 16 and 17? 17, 15. Oh, that's right, Researcher at that 15 point. Fun that this tie was in the final round. And we are going to be at 17 threat. Which is a good spot for X-Force. Some might even say I'll get the screen updated to reflect that, not by giving victory points like I just did, but by changing the affiliation tag. We'll also try to make the Grip It and Rip It a little bit bigger as well. This is actually super cool. We've gotten Sooner on stream twice during this event. Here in Niles, Illinois, as Taylor would say. And Pat, I believe, is running, looks like, is he X-Force as well? Okay, and X-Force off. Someone's going to be X-Forced into not winning. And they are, in fact, going to stay on their table sides. X-Force versus X-Force. I think this was one of the finals from Adepticon this past year in the Timeline event, because we saw a lot of X-Force there. It's a very popular affiliation for Timeline, and as the 3x3 team tournament format is actually kind of like spreading out a Timeline event amongst 3 people, where you can't repeat models, crisis cards, or tactics cards. You'll see a lot of every one of the teams kind of cleaving to at least one of the same affiliations, whether it's X-Force. We've seen a lot of Web Warriors. We saw a convocation earlier this weekend, which is always a dope thing to see. Can you kind of eat those like a peach ring when you pull those out? I mean, I'm not going to.
Just because you're a baby?
Because I have pain diabetes, but just kind of got to roll with that sometimes. It's an X-Force. X-Force Mirror, the final stream game we want and deserve. I mean, Joe, that is 1,000% accurate. And at 17 threat as well, which is a great spot for them. X-Force kind of being able to flex a little bit on both sides, whether you're going to be focusing on some of the more tankier characters, Crimson Dynamo, or you're going to be going with kind of a straight-up, somewhat squishy, fast-healing murder squad with Deadpool, X-23, Honey Badger, Baron Zemo, etc.
Tour de Bleu.
Tour de Bleu.
Tour de Bleu.
And it looks like Pat actually kind of has an interesting X-Force roster here. I see Colossus, I see Dr. Voodoo, Baron Zemo, Honey Badger, a bunch of great stuff there, and that kind of counter opposes to Sooners, who doesn't have some of those pieces, but does have a couple flex pieces like Crimson Dynamo, Luke Cage, Bullseye, Ancient One, which is a very interesting one to see. So they could really kind of go. So this will be a mirror match in X-Force, but they should have pretty dissimilar rosters that actually come to the table themselves. It's a tour to X-Force. That's right.
Tour de Bleu.
Tour de Bleu.
Tour de Bleu.
going to take me a long time to get through all of that.
Charles! I just read that comment. Hey, Tizzy, Charles is disappointed that you didn't have a knife. He says he thought he knew you better.
I thought I had one.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I've always seen you with a knife.
No, give me my hand.
Oh, in your...
I didn't bring one. Already one there.
I don't know why he's just not using mine. I obviously gave it to him. But
Jesus Christ. Oh, man. All right. It's going to be good to go back home. Not have to deal with the weekend dads fighting.
Here's the good news now. You're going to get 2 Christmases, which is actually
That's
pretty
true.
dope. So,
That's true.
Neither did I.
Oh, my God. I can't even concentrate keeping the thing on my head.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? What is that supposed to mean?
You can't even keep the thing on your head. Sorry for being supportive. Very thin and sharp. Yeah. That's how you get the job done. All right, so I believe Sooner will be back sooner than later, taking a brief respite in the glorious broken bathrooms of this abandoned mall, which is pretty much any stall you want to pass. Oh, and there's a hydrate from Roster Doctor.
Still don't have any liquid.
You have a paint cup right there, bud.
Spit in my mouth.
What do you want?
Coke. Just keep the caffeine flowing so I have a kidney stone.
Is Pepsi okay?
Yeah, Pepsi. Yeah, Pepsi's fine. Whatever.
No! I can't work under these conditions!
I wish I had enough points to get y'all to vomit from excessive water drinking. I don't know. Do you have
Thank you.
499 points? Because sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, we just had 19 of them.
Pepsi is not fine.
All right, here's the makeup for the hydrate.
Oh, pinky up. There you go.
Purse first. It'd be amazing if you get that reference.
How was the left hand?
Purse first.
Purse first.
Purse first. Drag queen.
That's my purse.
That's my. I don't know you.
I don't know you.
I don't know you. Those kids would be very upset if they knew how to read.
All right. Sooner slapping a roster on the table.
So-
Pat is ready too.
In other game news, Bushido just recently had another model come out who works for the sumo wrestlers in Silver Moon, and his new he has an ability no other model has. It's called Pocket Sand,
Really like that.
and you got to go sha.
All right, let's take a look at. Let's see what Pat has here for his roster. Looks like I see Cable, Deadpool, X-23, Domino, and Baron Zemo, 3-threat version. And then for tactics cards, I'm sure we have pretty sneaky Seus right on top.
Yeah.
Sacrifice, Brace, Exceptional Healing. What was the second to last one?
His name is not Dale. No, it should be.
Pretty sneaky, Brace, Exceptional Healing.
I'll look up his name right now.
Cat and Mouse, that was the one. And then over for Sooner, it looks like we have X-23, Deadpool, Bullseye, Cable, and Crimson Dynamo. As far as tactics cards go, we are looking at Brace, Fallback, Cat and Mouse, Sacrifice, and Exceptional Healing.
To answer your question, his name is Kenichi Gemu. Pocket Sand.
No, it's good. It did look like an earthquake for a hot minute for a second. I was like, what's going on? But it is good. Fan value time is his
Meal. Oh, is there another hydrate that I missed?
But,
Why am I in charge of this?
huh?
Why am I in charge of this?
Because you're getting better at this all the time, man.
You know what else I get better at? Complaining.
That's true. It's one of the big things that is of a value here. But
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? These are the conditions we got to. You know what? You got to deal with what you you got to deal with the hand that you're given.
I got what I got. LOL.
Oh, man. So hey, in this video, Dr. D is the best at what he does. Come with yeah, you darn
Best
tootin'.
there is in what I do.
Listen,
Not pooping my pants.
never poo my pants. So let me tell you something. When you're going through life, oh God, here, hold on.
Okay, cool.
Hey, can I have your sunglasses? I gotta go blind.
Hey, Cord.
Thank you. You gotta be rooting.
It's also
You gotta be
Cable's
tooting.
nickname.
And by God, you gotta be shooting.
That's right.
But most of all, be kind.
So,
X23.
for Sooner, we do have Crimson Dynamo dead center, and it looks like
Cable
a
is down.
cable going right above him. Over on Pat's side, we have X23 as well as Deadpool.
And if somebody's talking to me in the chat, I legit cannot see you.
07. Thanks,
Can't
Cord.
see a thing. It is dark.
Did you think Hull 2 Harpoon?
I sure do. What?
Did you think Hull 2 Harpoon?
I did not. Because I can't see his name.
Oh, it's Hull 2 Harpoon. Thank you for the follow. Hull 2 Harpoon.
Thank you, Cthulhu Harpoon.
Got it in one.
There's Domino. Gotta love her.
Domino. Orders usually in 30 minutes.
Bullseye's
Get
down.
10 pizza points every time you play her.
Domino is definitely a X-Men wine mom.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yep. Grand Zemo.
Bullseye down there at the bottom of the board for Sooner, and then he is going to place his Deadpool right on top.
Deadpool.
And there's Cable, hanging out with his best friend, Baron Zemo.
I look like a spook. Like the CIA spook.
Oh, like an undercover cop.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not like the other one. The ghost. Spooky ghost. X23 is down.
X23 and Bullseye also fast friends. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, the other kind of spook.
Yeah, they separated a little bit.
The car part.
A spoke?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I said.
or like bespoke post.
Or the other kind of spook. The past tense for spoken.
Oh yeah, that's
Spook.
that's also spoke.
Spook. No, I'm from Florida, bud. That's how you say it down there.
I gotcha.
Cat and mouse out.
All right, yeah, cat and
Yeah,
mouse
Nathan.
for move Cable up. You know what? Sooner's like, yeah, I wish I did that sooner, but in fact, I'll do it now with his own cat and mouse. Except he's actually going to be on a researcher base.
Kevin Pollak. I'm gonna look up a picture of Kevin Pollak right now.
Roster Doctor. I've never seen that emote before, but it's. Is that Stitches? I've heard particular people get Stitches.
Do you care if he uses dice for power and damage?
I don't care as long as his opponent's okay with it.
As long as they're cool with it. As long as they're cool with it. His opponent, like he can read it. As long as he's cool with it, we don't care. Yeah.